Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are primarily designed to protect against electric shock. They achieve this by detecting small imbalances in electrical current between the hot and neutral wires. The fundamental principle behind a GFCI's operation is the monitoring of current flow. It ensures that the current leaving through the hot wire is equal to the current returning through the neutral wire. If there is a difference, even a small one, it indicates that some current is taking an unintended path, possibly through a person. This unintended path is known as a ground fault. When a ground fault is detected, the GFCI trips, quickly interrupting the circuit and minimizing the risk of electric shock. Now let's consider a short circuit between the hot and grounded conductor. In this scenario, the current seeks a path of least resistance. This often means that a significant portion, or even all, of the current bypasses the neutral wire. Because the current predominantly flows directly from the hot wire to the grounded conductor, there is little to no current returning through the neutral wire. As a result, the GFCI does not detect a significant imbalance between the hot and neutral wires. Consequently, in this typical hot to grounded short circuit scenario, the GFCI will not trip. Given their design focus, GFCIs are not primarily intended for protection against fire hazards. However, it is important to recognize that they can offer a degree of protection in certain situations. For instance, consider a scenario where a short circuit occurs between the hot and grounded conductor, and simultaneously, there is also a ground fault present. In such a combined event, the ground fault component may cause the GFCI to trip, thus providing a measure of protection. Furthermore, it is important to consider the behavior of a GFCI when a short circuit occurs between the hot and neutral wires. In this type of short circuit, the GFCI will typically trip. This is because a hot to neutral short circuit often results in a rapid and substantial increase in current flow, which can quickly lead to overheating and potentially ignite nearby materials. Therefore, in this specific case, the GFCI's tripping action can help prevent a fire. To ensure comprehensive electrical safety, it's crucial to understand that GFCIs are just one element of a larger safety strategy. Relying solely on GFCIs can create a false sense of security. A well-rounded approach to electrical safety incorporates several key elements. Firstly, using properly rated circuit breakers and fuses. Circuit breakers and fuses are designed to protect against overcurrent conditions such as short circuits and overloads. They interrupt the flow of electricity when the current exceeds a safe level, preventing damage to wiring and equipment and reducing the risk of fire. Secondly, ensuring electrical wiring is in good condition. Regular inspection and maintenance of electrical wiring are essential. Damaged or deteriorated wiring can create fire hazards and increase the risk of electric shock. Look for signs of damage such as frayed insulation, loose connections, and corroded wires. Thirdly, avoiding overloading circuits. Overloading a circuit occurs when you draw more current than the circuit is designed to handle. This can cause the circuit breaker to trip, but it can also overheat the wiring and create a fire hazard. Be mindful of the total load on each circuit, and avoid plugging too many devices into a single outlet or circuit. To elaborate on the functionality of circuit breakers, it's crucial to understand their amperage ratings. Circuit breakers are designed to trip when the current flowing through them exceeds their rated amperage. For instance, a 15 amp circuit breaker will trip when the current exceeds 15 amps. Similarly, a 20 amp circuit breaker will trip when the current exceeds 20 amps. It is crucial to use the correct size circuit breaker for each circuit to ensure proper protection. Using a circuit breaker with a higher amperage rating than the wiring is designed for can create a fire hazard. In addition to circuit breakers, fuses also play a vital role in electrical safety. Fuses are similar to circuit breakers in that they are designed to protect against overcurrent conditions. However, instead of tripping and being reset, fuses melt and break the circuit when the current exceeds the rated amperage. Fuses must be replaced after they blow. Like circuit breakers, it is essential to use the correct size fuse for each circuit. Replacing a fuse with one that has a higher amperage rating can create a fire hazard. When inspecting electrical wiring, pay close attention to the condition of the insulation. The insulation is the protective layer that surrounds the wires and prevents them from coming into contact with each other or with grounded surfaces. Damaged or deteriorated insulation can expose the wires and create a risk of electric shock or fire. Look for signs of cracking, fraying, or discoloration of the insulation. If you find any damaged insulation, have it repaired or replaced by a qualified electrician. Loose connections are another common cause of electrical problems. Over time, the connections in electrical outlets, switches, and fixtures can loosen due to vibration or thermal expansion and contraction. Loose connections can cause arcing, which is a spark that can ignite nearby materials and start a fire. Check the connections in electrical outlets, switches, and fixtures periodically and tighten any loose connections. Corroded wires can also pose a safety hazard. Corrosion is the gradual destruction of metal due to chemical reactions with its environment. Corroded wires can have reduced conductivity, which can cause them to overheat and create a fire hazard. Look for signs of corrosion on wires, such as discoloration or a powdery residue. If you find any corroded wires, have them cleaned or replaced by a qualified electrician. To avoid overloading circuits, it's essential to understand the amperage ratings of your electrical appliances and devices. Each appliance and device draws a certain amount of current when it is operating. The total amount of current drawn by all of the appliances and devices on a circuit must not exceed the circuit's amperage rating. You can find the amperage rating of an appliance or device on its nameplate or in its user manual. To calculate the total load on a circuit, add up the amperage ratings of all of the appliances and devices that are plugged into that circuit. If the total load exceeds the circuit's amperage rating, you need to reduce the load by unplugging some of the appliances or devices. Using extension cords can also contribute to overloading circuits. Extension cords are designed to carry a limited amount of current, and overloading them can cause them to overheat and create a fire hazard. Avoid using extension cords whenever possible, and never plug multiple extension cords together. If you must use an extension cord, choose one that is heavy duty and rated for the amount of current that you will be drawing. In addition to the measures already discussed, there are other important aspects of electrical safety to consider. Firstly, it's crucial to ensure that all electrical work is performed by a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's essential to have it done by someone who is trained and experienced. A qualified electrician will be able to identify and correct any potential hazards, and they will ensure that the work is done in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. Secondly, it's important to have your electrical system inspected regularly. A qualified electrician can inspect your electrical system and identify any potential problems before they become serious. Regular inspections can help to prevent fires and electric shocks. Thirdly, it's essential to educate yourself and your family about electrical safety. Make sure that everyone in your household knows how to use electrical appliances and devices safely, and that they understand the risks of electricity. Teach children not to play with electrical outlets or cords, and to never touch electrical equipment with wet hands. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are an important safety device designed to protect people from electric shock. They work by monitoring the current flowing through a circuit and detecting any imbalances between the outgoing and returning current. If an imbalance is detected, the GFCI quickly trips the circuit, cutting off the flow of electricity and preventing a potentially fatal shock. GFCIs are particularly important in areas where water is present, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor locations. Water is a good conductor of electricity, so the risk of electric shock is higher in these areas. GFCIs are required by code in these locations to protect people from accidental electrocution. There are two main types of GFCIs: receptacle type and circuit breaker type. Receptacle type GFCIs are installed in place of standard electrical outlets. They have a built-in sensor that monitors the current flowing through the circuit and trips the circuit if an imbalance is detected. Circuit breaker type GFCIs are installed in the electrical panel. They protect the entire circuit that they are connected to. If an imbalance is detected on any part of the circuit breaker will trip. When choosing a GFCI, It is important to select one that is rated for the voltage and amperage of the circuit that it will be protecting. GFCIs are typically rated for 120 volts or 240 volts, and for 15 amps or 20 amps. It is also important to choose a GFCI that is listed by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, or UL. UL-listed GFCIs have been tested and certified to meet safety standards. To test a GFCI, you can use the test button that is located on the GFCI itself. Pressing the test button will simulate a ground fault and cause the GFCI to trip. If the GFCI does not trip when you press the test button, it is not working properly and should be replaced. GFCIs should be tested monthly to ensure that they are working properly. It is also important to understand the limitations of GFCIs. GFCIs are designed to protect against electric shock, but they are not designed to protect against overloads or short circuits. Overloads and short circuits can damage electrical equipment and cause fires. To protect against overloads and short circuits, you need to use circuit breakers or fuses. Circuit breakers and fuses are designed to trip when the current flowing through a circuit exceeds a safe level. This protects the wiring and equipment from damage and prevents fires. Circuit breakers are reusable, while fuses must be replaced after they blow. It is important to use the correct size circuit breaker or fuse for each circuit. Using a circuit breaker or fuse that is too large can create a fire hazard. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides detailed requirements for electrical installations. The NEC is a set of standards that are designed to protect people and property from electrical hazards. The NEC is updated every 3 years. It is important to follow the NEC when installing or modifying electrical systems. The NEC contains requirements for wiring, grounding, overcurrent protection, and other aspects of electrical safety. It also contains requirements for specific types of equipment, such as GFCIs and arc fault circuit interrupters, or SIs. SIs are similar to GFCIs, but they are designed to protect against arc faults. Arc faults are dangerous electrical arcs that can occur when wires become damaged or insulation breaks down. Arc faults can cause fires. SIs are required by code in many areas, particularly in bedrooms and other areas where people sleep. There are two main types of SIs: circuit breaker type and outlet type. Circuit breaker type of SIs are installed in the electrical panel. They protect the entire circuit that they are connected to. Outlet type of SIs are installed in place of standard electrical outlets. They protect only the outlet itself. When choosing an FSI, it is important to select one that is listed by a recognized testing laboratory, such as UL. UL-listed FSIs have been tested and certified to meet safety standards. To test an FSI, you can use the test button that is located in the FSI itself. Pressing the test button will simulate an arc fault and cause the FSI to trip. If the FSI does not trip when you press the test button, it is not working properly and should be replaced. FSIs should be tested monthly to ensure that they are working properly. In addition to GFCIs and FSIs, there are other important safety devices that can be used to protect against electrical hazards. These include surge protectors, voltage regulators, and isolation transformers. Surge protectors protect electrical equipment from voltage spikes. Voltage spikes can damage sensitive electronic equipment, such as computers and televisions. Surge protectors work by diverting excess voltage away from the equipment and into the ground. Voltage regulators maintain a constant voltage supply to electrical equipment. Voltage fluctuations can damage sensitive electronic equipment. Voltage regulators work by smoothing out voltage fluctuations and providing a stable voltage supply. Isolation transformers isolate electrical equipment from the power line. This can help to reduce the risk of electric shock. Isolation transformers are often used in medical equipment and other sensitive applications. Electrical safety is a critical concern, and a multifaceted approach is essential to minimize risks. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are vital components in this comprehensive strategy, primarily designed to protect individuals from electric shock. However, their role in fire prevention is more nuanced, offering limited but valuable protection in certain scenarios. To fully understand the function of GFCIs, it's important to distinguish between ground faults and short circuits. A ground fault occurs when current deviates from its intended path and flows through an unintended conductor, such as a person's body. GFCIs are specifically designed to detect these imbalances in current flow and quickly interrupt the circuit, preventing potentially fatal electric shocks. In contrast, a short circuit occurs when there is a low resistance connection between 2 points in a circuit that have different voltages. This can lead to a rapid increase in current flow, potentially causing overheating and fires. While GFCIs can sometimes trip in response to certain types of short circuits, they are not primarily designed for this purpose. The primary function of GFCIs is to protect against electric shock by detecting imbalances in current between the hot and neutral wires. They are not primarily designed to protect against fire hazards. However, they can provide some protection in certain situations. For example, if a short circuit occurs between the hot and grounded conductor and there is also a ground fault, the GFCI may trip. Additionally, if a short circuit occurs between the hot and neutral wires, the GFCI will typically trip. This type of short circuit can cause a fire hazard, so GFCIs can provide some protection in this situation. When a short circuit occurs between the hot and grounded conductor, the current follows a path of least resistance. This means that little to no current flows through the neutral wire, and therefore the GFCI does not detect an imbalance and will not trip. It's important to note that GFCIs are just one part of a comprehensive electrical safety plan. Other important measures include using properly rated circuit breakers and fuses, ensuring electrical wiring is in good condition, and avoiding overloading circuits. In summary, GFCIs are essential safety devices that protect against electric shock by detecting current imbalances. While they offer limited fire protection in specific scenarios, they should not be considered a primary means of fire prevention. A comprehensive electrical safety plan should include GFCIs, properly rated circuit breakers and fuses, well-maintained wiring, and avoidance of overloaded circuits.